Hello mystical souls, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to dive right in and do a review on the Cosmic Visions Tarot deck. We're going to take a look at some of the aesthetics, the illustration, the artwork, the construction, integrity, usability of the cards themselves. So let's get into it. This is the cover and the front lid of the box, and on the front you can kind of see this glossy sticker of the Ouroboros and the third eye, the mind's eye there on the front. And overall on this lid pretty much encapsulates kind of the entire theme of the deck all in one. You've got the watercolor rainbow here, the black and white contrast drawings of the cosmos, just absolutely gorgeous. I instantly fell in love with this deck when I saw it. On the back of the box, it mentions the title of the deck, the Cosmic Visions Tarot, with a little blurb here from the artist. Will you answer the call to take a journey through the cosmos of your own mind, where humankind and nature become one? The strange and unusual blossoms, and the answers you have been seeking will be found. At the bottom, the artist's name, Jessica Shackleton, is listed. And I got this deck on Etsy probably about a month or so ago for $75, so it's by no means a cheap, inexpensive deck, but I will say, based on the construction, the materials, I feel you really do get what you pay for. So if you're interested, that's definitely where to head over to find a deck for yourself. On the inside of the box lid, to start, I will say the construction of this lid is just very quality. It's fantastic, well constructed. It's firm, not kind of, you know, a fake, flimsy, plasticky or cardstock type lid. So really good quality there. It reminds me of the boxes, the construction of the boxes that the Apple products come in, if you're familiar with that. On the inside of the lid, we have this same depiction of the watercolor cosmic rainbow imagery, and there is a little blurb that reads, "The stars, they are whispering your name. They have a story to tell you, a story of your past, present, and future." So again, great construction, great overall aesthetic. And then before we dive in, we'll just take a look at the back portion of the box. And the imagery here is kind of just that cosmic outer space with smattering of stars in the cosmos, galaxy, and things like that. So inside, we have our little white book, although I like to call it my little black book because it's mostly black. It has the same depictions there on the outside, carrying throughout with the other theme, the Ouroboros, the mind's eye, and the black and white drawing artistry. I'm not going to go through the entire book, so no spoiler alerts here, but in the beginning of the book, there's obviously an intro, and then she talks about kind of getting familiar with the deck, some key things to know, shuffling and cutting the deck, and of course some spreads. There is one page in here that discusses a deck-specific spread that the artist created, and she calls that the Cosmic Rebirth spread. So if you're interested, I'd suggest trying that out. And then there was an interesting section that I actually was quite appreciative of, and she touches upon cleansing the deck and goes into different forms of cleansing that you could utilize prior to doing readings with your deck, such as smudging, moon bath, talks about crystals and meditation. So I was really pleased with that and quite surprised, but I thought it was a really cool little element to add in there, very thoughtful. And then of course, all of the suits are divided up into sections, and the major arcana as well. I will mention though that with these cards and their descriptions in the book, there are no reversed meanings included. And the artist does have a page here in the beginning of the book mentioning, you know, why she does that with this 79 card deck. and how she feels that basically it's more important as a beginner to learn the upright meanings of the cards than to kind of be bogged down by learning two meanings for each and every card when you're starting out. And with that, I can kind of agree. I do understand the reasoning behind that from an economical standpoint, and trying to keep a book smaller and the overall cost of the deck to be, you know, more cost effective. It also makes sense from that standpoint too. So, but yeah, just in case you were interested, that will not be included in this little white book. And as I did mention, this is a 79 card deck. That's because the artist includes a bonus major arcana card called the Divine, and she does have that included here in the book as well. And I'm not going to read the meaning of that card, so no spoiler alerts for you guys, in case, you know, you're on the fence and considering getting this deck but you haven't thus far. But I will say that the Divine card has keywords included here that symbolize connection and alignment, so if you're interested in that. But overall, I feel like this is a very quality little white book. And one thing I did want to show you guys too, hopefully you'll be able to see it in here, this book actually has threaded binding on the inside. You know, that's incredible. It's not just, you know, like cheap glue or staples. Like, this is seriously a quality book. They put a lot of thought into this and care. You know, this, they wanted this to have longevity. It's not a throwaway deck. It's not designed to, clearly not designed to last you, you know, a year or two. They wanted this deck to last its buyers. So the outside of the book overall, like the texture of it is very smooth. You know, it's a firmer cardstock, perhaps even maybe a little bit thinner than the stock they used for the cards themselves. But like I said, overall, this is just beautiful, beautiful construction. And now we get to dive into the cards themselves. First here, just some more imagery, the inside of the back of the box. Again, tying into that beautiful overall cosmic watercolor rainbow imagery that I love so much. Taking the cards out, I forget this image is here, and every time I take the cards out and I see it, I'm just like, it makes me smile. It makes me so happy. It's so beautiful. Now for the cards, and I will start off with the backs of the cards. So we see that same tie-in with the black and white drawings here, cosmic drawings. I'm gonna pull one card out for you guys to try to portray the fact that there is no gloss on these cards. It's matte, but it's this satiny, almost suede, velvety-like matte on there. And I just love the feel of it. I know there are some books too, and I plan to do some reviews on tarot books in the future that also have the same finish to them. And it does lend for a decent glide. It's not going to be that same high gloss type of glide that you get where things are like sliding around. It's not like that. So those tend to feel kind of, to me anyway, kind of chintzy, cheap, plasticky because of that high gloss. This is not like that. And you have a little bit of drag on these cards because of the finish that they chose to apply to them, but I don't mind that. And when I'm actually shuffling the cards as a whole, I don't have any issues, you know, with them kind of sliding against one another. So I was actually very pleased to feel that finish that was on these cards. The size of them is a little bit smaller, and I was surprised by this than a traditional deck. And I feel that this is easier to hold for me because I have small hands. So if you have smaller hands, and that may be a bonus for you, like I can hold them lengthwise, long ways, and I don't have any problems with shuffling, maneuvering, or manipulating the cards, and holding them, you know, short length, widthwise too. I don't have any issues either. You know, I can grasp them firmly. I feel comfortable holding these cards in my smaller hands. So that was a major bonus for me. I did not realize that prior to ordering them. And one thing that I would like to do is also show you guys the flex of these cards. I love that they're very pliable, very workable, but not to the point of feeling like I'm going to bend them or damage them. They don't feel cheap. I will show you one card here. The thickness is great, but they also have, you know, plenty of just flexibility in there, just a nice workable cardstock. And I wouldn't be surprised if the finish that they chose to add to these cards actually adds to that pliability. I think it probably does have something to do with it. Obviously, too, I didn't mention, but these are gilded black. I guess that is the right term. Don't fault me as a beginner if that is not the right term. But I like that black outside too. You know, you won't see the cards. The cards will have a bit more longevity due to that. So yes, that is the overall maneuverability of the cards. And then we will just turn these around and take a look at some of the imagery, illustration, the color. The color is what really stood out to me in these cards. Just simply magnificent, absolutely beautiful, so unique. That's one of my favorite cards. I will say there are many cards in this deck that I feel the artist went above and beyond by comparison to their symbolism and their meanings to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Then there are some other cards in here that I do feel don't resonate as well with me and maybe are a little bit lacking in terms of showing the symbolism or the proper symbolism or adding more symbols into the cards. But by no means does that deter me from using the deck, loving the deck. I absolutely do love this deck. It is magnificent. The imagery is just beautiful. And the use of the color, where it's put, how it's put in each card, I think is just stellar. Wonderful, wonderful portrayal of the card meanings, and a lot of the artist's personal rendition here of these cards. You know, like for instance, the Fool card. I probably won't be able to find it in here right now, but I thought it was just, it was one of the cards I thought was magnificent in, you know, like, wow, yeah, that is totally another way to portray the meaning of this card, and with totally different symbolism and imagery. And I thought it was genius, really. And you know, it was one of those things that made me knew I had to get this deck. So that is sort of a brief little run through for you guys of the Cosmic Visions Indie Tarot deck. And again, I got this off of Etsy. That's where I stumbled across after perusing I don't know how many different websites on different decks of tarot cards. Some, you know, I thought were cool, but I still didn't pull the trigger on anything because, like, in my psyche, I somehow knew what I was looking for and nothing had popped out to me yet. And when I came across this was the one that popped out, and I knew that this was the one. So if you are feeling that way after seeing this video, I definitely encourage you to go and pull the trigger and get the deck. It's totally worth it. In a future video, maybe like a little mini series, I plan to break the deck down into suits and the major arcana so that we can kind of dive in more intimately with symbolism and meaning of each card within each of those suits. So please look out for those videos. And if this video helped you, please consider giving a like so that it can be shared with other people and be beneficial for them. And also consider subscribing if you are looking forward to future reviews of tarot decks and books, and maybe even some readings. The more comfortable and familiar I get with the cards, I would love to share that with you guys. So thank you for watching and have a peaceful day. Bye.